Let's dig into Proverbs 11 as we focus on prosperity, integrity, and generosity. Verse 1 tells us that the Lord hates dishonest scales, but accurate weights are his delight. This is speaking of all unfair and fraudulent practices when dealing with others, especially in a business. So what this verse is telling you is to make sure that in all of your dealings to be honest. Otherwise, being dishonest can bring judgment upon yourself. Verse 2 talks about being prideful. It says that pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. When the Bible talks about pride, it always tells us that pride is a sin. God detests those that try to exalt themselves. It's always better to humble yourself before God. Verses 3 through 11 discusses the conduct of those that are righteous and those that are wicked. Now, we're not going to discuss verse for verse, but I do want to highlight two verses out of this section. And it's verse 6 that states, "The righteousness of the upright delivers them, but the unfaithful are trapped by evil desires." In verse 10, it says, "When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy." There's nothing that can compare to living in peace. As the verse said, when the wicked reigns in a city, it creates unrest. But when the righteous rule, there's peace and prosperity in the city. Now let's move on to verses 12 through 13. When we allow our mouth to go unchecked, we can end up causing so much damage from our speech. As we learned in chapter 10, take control of your mouth. Verse 12 tells us that a foolish person belittles their neighbor, but a sensible person holds their peace. And verse 13 talks about those that goes around gossiping. You see, the next time you feel like giving someone a piece of your mind or telling someone's secret, I have a better idea. There is a better way according to the Word of God, and it's choosing to remain silent. Verse 14 tells us that where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. There's no way as you look around that we can do life alone. As you can see, we all need each other. We need people around us that are willing to tell us and to sound the alarm sometimes when we are going the wrong way. Or if there's something that we don't know, having others around us that are wise can help us see us through what we are going through because they may have more knowledge in that area. This verse is so important as it highlights the danger of putting yourself into situations where you get into debt with other people because you're co-signing a loan. They're asking you to co-sign a loan or to be in an apartment with them or to purchase a home with them or a car with them, and you have no idea of their ability to repay that loan. You don't know if they're honest in all of their dealings. And so when you get yourself engaged in a contract like that, the Bible warns against that. That can bring problems to your life. Verses 16 through 18 talks about being kind and those that are cruel. Verse 16 says, "A kind-hearted woman gains honor, but a ruthless man gains only wealth." You see, there's a certain respect that you receive when you are a kind person. It not only benefits the person when you are kind, but it also brings a benefit to you. You feel very good about yourself. You feel great about what you are doing, knowing that you are following the commands of God to be kind to one another. Let's read verses 19 through 20. "Godly people find life, but evil people find death." Verse 20, "The Lord detests people with crooked hearts, but he delights in those with integrity." There's something to be said about doing what is right. When we live a righteous life, God is well pleased with us. Now let's read verses 21 through 23. Verses 21 says, "Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free." Verses 22 says, "Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion." Verse 23, "The desire of the righteous ends only in good, but the hope of the wicked ends in wrath." You see, God is a God of justice, and He shows us that the wicked will not go unpunished, but those that are righteous will be freed. Let's see what the New Living Translation has to say about verses 24 through 26. Verses 24 says, "Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything." Verse 25, "The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." Verse 26 says, "People curse those who hoard their grain, but they bless the ones who sells in time of need." In verses 24 to 26, we just learned about the power of generosity, being able to help others around you when you are prospering. The best thing that you can do is try and help others that are around you, to help them so that they will not be suffering while you are prospering, but in their time of need, that you will be there to bless their lives as you receive blessings from God. Verse 27 tells us, "Whoever seeks good finds favor, but evil comes to the one who searches for it." You know those people, the ones that everywhere they go, they are looking for evil. They are looking for the bad things. But whatever you are searching for, always remember that you will find it. So instead, seek for the things that are good, and in that you will find favor. As we move further on to verses 28 through 31, we learn once again about the righteous, how the verses are comparing those that are righteous and those that are foolish. It talks about those that put all of their trust in their riches and how they will fall, but those that are righteous will flourish. And it warns us against bringing trouble to our household and how the fools will be servant to those that are wise. Verse 30 talks about the fruit of righteousness is a tree of life, and whoever captures soul is wise. Verse 31 says, "If the righteous is repaid on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner?" The Bible is very clear on how we are to conduct ourselves as Christians, as this chapter reminded us again of how we ought to be people of integrity, how we are to be generous to those that are in need. That is our duty. Let's wrap up chapter 11 of Proverbs by highlighting some of the key things that we have learned. Some of the things that have stuck out to me was the focus on being honest, prosperous, and generous. You don't have to look too far to see the ways that some businessmen and individuals are unfair in their dealings. Their only aim sometimes is to defraud customers in order to become rich. But as Christians, we ought to be sure that we have integrity and that we remain true to the living Word of God. And a key reminder is that when it's in your power to help others, we have a duty to do so. Be kind to one another. Be generous to those that are in need. That's all for now. Bye.